Okay, first of all, let's see something. Am I muted? I am not muted. Okay. Let's switch over to some. Give me a second here. Right? Cool. And let's drop some volume a little bit there so you can actually hear me. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So it's been a hell of a week. Hello, Hoovy. How are you? First of all, let me do a shout out to the wonderful and lovely Nomadic Hoovian, who is just an awesome person, great streamer, and somebody you should follow. I know that there are always a few people who lurk who are awesome people as well. Please, please just share the love. That's all I ask. Anyway, I know, but I always like to, especially when it's somebody that I care about. So there we go. That's it. Anyway, hello, hello. I am back ish. I am just chilling. It's been a week. It's been a week. So let's just recap a little bit about what happened. And I'll tell you all about the booty. Not the kind that you want to go searching for with a map and an X, unless you're into that sort of thing. But we don't kink shame here. Anyway, so last week on Thursday, I went in for my for the captain's first colonoscopy. Now, admittedly, as I am a spry young man of 49 now, which we'll get into later, this is about 2 or 3 years overdue. And obviously, because mom got sick in 2024, and we had a number of issues that occurred from 2021 on, things were not always the easiest to get in and schedule things and get things like this done. So, yada, yada, yada. We're here now. Here we are. Last week. So, went in nice and early on last Thursday to get my butt checked out. They said, "Yeah, you gotta drink this stuff," which was basically just Miralax for like that. But it's not like Miralax like you take it like, "Ooh, I'm having an off day." It's like you drink the bottle of Miralax and then you go, and things that you ate in 1984 will come out of you. And if you're younger than 1984, well, that's a surprise then, isn't it now? So anyway, that happened, and I go in, I'm all cleaned out, and I'm like go in, I'm like, all right, ready to have my butt scoped and see if I'm okay. I was expecting this to take like 20 minutes. They come out, they tell me you got nine little polyps growing. Now, mind you, I am the type of guy that grew up playing video games. And when you say polyps to me, I think of those little things that shoot out fireballs in Metroid, because I'm a nerd. So this is what happened. So I'm thinking, oh, well, they're going in there, and you can imagine the kind of mental fun that images that I was thinking about when they were going in there, sitting there thinking, man, I really want to play Metroid now. Anyway, wrap up, go home, everything I think is fine, and now we get to the point where it's like, oh, get to the point where it's like in the evening, and I'm thinking, well, I got to go to the bathroom, probably a little bit of residual, and you think, oh, it's going to be loose, not to get gross, but I'm figuring, okay, it's going to be like liquid, not a big deal, except it's blood and a lot of blood. And then about 15 minutes later, went again, and it was the same deal. That's not good. Now, I already called the emergency number for the gastroenterologist's office. I'm just going to use the letters GI to substitute for gastroenterologist because Damn, that's a lot of letters. Uh, but yeah, so I called the GI's emergency, after hours line. They're like, yeah, go to the emergency room. Went to the emergency room. 3 times in the emergency room over the course of the next hour. Yep, got the more blood came out of me to the point of which on the fifth time total for the evening, I was passing out, and we now know why. They had to actually wheel over the emergency room bed to the bathroom so that I could and help me sit down so that I could not fall on the floor. And then they gave me a transfusion of blood, which then I kind of woke up from the daze because normally I have 14 units of blood. We're going to use that as a measurement in me. I went from 14 to 8 in the course of the evening. So that's a severe blood loss. So they gave me 2 units of blood to kind of get me back to stable, which is stable, they say, is around 10. And the next day, they came in and said, yeah, the GI is going to have to come in. They admitted me to the ICU, the intensive care unit, the ICU, and they were like, yeah, we contacted your GI. They're gonna come in. They're gonna do an emergency colonoscopy. Go in there and clip the go in and see what's bleeding and clip it. Shut it. Okay. Now clipping is when they put like basically like staples in to close a wound, but because you can't just suture the inside of your like bowels really or your colon. So that's at least how they explained it to me. So I said, all right, cool. Um, and they come up to me that morning and they bring up this big giant thing of this thing called Go Lightly. Now this is like a gallon and a half of like Go Lightly, and it's got like a slight cherry flavor to it. But other than that, it's a clear, thicker than water. It's like a syrup, like a light syrup. And they're like, yeah, I got to drink this by 2 p.m. And I'm like, get me a straw and a cup and let's get to work. So I'm in pretty good spirits about this. Do that. 2 p.m. comes last Friday. She goes in again, and she's like, "Yep, we got it all taken care of. The rest of today, you're gonna just be on clear liquids and see how you do tomorrow, and then we'll see if you can go home." All right. Now the next day, Saturday. This is Saturday the 28th. Right. Do the liquids. All right, you can go home. Eat soft foods. Don't obviously eat anything. Don't go and swallow some rocks or anything like that. That would cause your colon to get irritated. Try to keep it calm. All right, no problem. Can do that. And we get to so hang on. Just give me a second. So so we get to that. Go home. I'm home for about 6.5 hours, 7 hours. And all of a sudden, I start feeling like I'm going to pass out. Like, start seeing stars, start feeling like you're in a really big hallway, having trouble hearing. I'm like, Dad, I think I'm going to pass out. Now, I have type 2 diabetes. So I think maybe my blood sugar's off. So I get the testing kit, test my blood sugar. That's actually perfectly normal. I'm like, okay, well, let me sit down for a few minutes, see if this may be something that's just going to pass. Wasn't something that was going to pass. Uh, so so we call the police. Well, we call 911. The police come. The ambulance comes. They take me back to the emergency room, and they're like, "You're back." And literally, the emergency room doctor, looks at me and does one of the strides, like, "You're here again," and I'm like, "I sure am." And yeah, so that happened, and that was not the I'm all lightheaded, and they're like, yeah. So they give me another blood transfusion, and they did another. Now I need to drop back to Thursday. They did a CT scan with contrast to look for bleeding. They didn't see anything. They did another one, same thing. They didn't see anything. In fact, the CT technician was like, "Weren't you just here for this like a day and a half ago?" I was like, "Yep." So they gave me another blood transfusion. As soon as the blood started hitting my veins, I started feeling a lot better. So yeah, I don't know if I'm like part vampire now. It's the weirdest way to become a vampire. So yeah, no. So right, and then the next, so they readmit me to the ICU, and they're like, "Well, we're going to transfer you over to the main hospital." So I'm like, "All right," because this is an affiliate hospital, and it's not the like county or anything like that. So main one's down in a town called Hackensack. I'm in Bergen County, New Jersey. So if you know, you know. Not going to dox myself, but I'm going to say that's what happened. So they're like, okay, we're gonna try to get you transferred over there to get things up and running. I'm like, cool, sounds good. The next day, Sunday. Now this is Sunday, March 1st. They come in Sunday morning and they give me another blood transfusion. So that's total 4 units of blood I got. Now that is the last transfusion I had. And then they're like, oh, and they come in and Sunday morning and they're like, oh, and by the way, here's a bottle of magnesium citrate, which is the old fashioned little bottle of stuff that you drink, cherry flavored. Tasted like I will literally tell you it tasted like a spicy cherry Jolly Rancher, and wasn't bad. I did drink it over the course of the day, and then went and promptly peed out of my butt. Um, I will literally just say that's exactly what happened because there was like absolutely no other way to describe it. No color was coming at me, and I hadn't eaten anything since literally Tuesday of the previous week. So, okay, we get to that Sunday, nothing happens. The hospital doesn't have a bed for me because of course they don't. It's the main county hospital where everybody in the world goes. So, but I'm not bleeding any. You know, blood seems to be stable. They do some hemoglobin tests every couple of hours to check, and things seem to be stabling. Monday comes, the ICU doc comes in, and he's like, "Okay, what we think happened here is that you got you lost a lot of blood, right? We gave you 2 units of blood on the first night you came in, and then we checked your hemoglobin, and everything seemed okay. But then it's like being in a house with 4 rooms, right? And you're like, you're going to turn on the heat in one room and the other, and leave the other 3 rooms closed, and then you're going to take a temperature reading of just that, and you're going to get the temperature for that one room. And then when you open the doors, you'll get the real temperature as everything kind of filters in and settles down. So what we think happened is you just needed more blood, and then maybe another day in the hospital, and then you probably would be able to go home like Monday morning. All right, but we're going to put you on a liquid diet, and then we're going to move you up to soft foods to see how you tolerate that. And we don't think you'll need to go to the other to the other hospital. All right, cool. Now this is Monday. It's my birthday also, and I'm like, all right, cool. So that's the deal. All right, I could deal with that. What happens? Well, we get to this part where it's like, oh, um, we get to the part where it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna. All of a sudden, it's like 8 o'clock at night, Monday, and they're like, oh, by the way, you're gonna go to Hackensack. I'm like, wait, what now? What's happening? We're going where? Why? And so apparently, the orders that they put in on Sunday before they kind of figured out things were going. So they're like, so the hospitalist, who is the main doctor for the hospital, comes in, talks to me. He's like, listen, if they're going to put you on, solid food and start you on a regular diet, maybe you should be there because God forbid something happens, they have all the equipment there to handle it right away. All right, makes sense. Okay, let's do the transfer over to county. I have the world's best ambulance ride with the greatest medical transport crew I have ever been had the pleasure of riding with because they were very nice, very funny, and got there no problem. 11 o'clock at night, got settled in. The the nurse and the two technicians that were there, all of which immediately found out it was my birthday because they were looking at my information and they sang me happy birthday. That made the night pretty cool. Settled in for the night, got some sleep, woke up Tuesday morning, and they were like, "Okay, here's the deal." The GI people came by, they looked at everything, and they said, "Look, you seem to be holding, you don't seem to be bleeding. You don't seem to be losing blood. We're gonna move you down to a regular room because I was in the ICU over in the main hospital. We're gonna move you over to the main regular room, and you can go and and we'll put you on regular food and see how you tolerate everything." I was so happy to eat a fucking salad. I've never been so happy to eat a fucking salad in my entire life. It was the best fucking salad I ever had. And then that night I even upgraded to like chicken tenders with like sweet potato fries and everything. It was good. I'm going to tell you right now, when you haven't eaten in nearly a week, that food is the best food that you will eat. Period. Doesn't matter if it's good or not. It really is. So I was like, all right, cool. And everything was like doing fine. I didn't feel anything bad. So no blood coming out of me, everything. So, and I got to put on like normal pants, which made me, not walking around in a giant, like, in one of them stupid hospital gowns where your ass is hanging out and everything else like that. So I'm like, ooh, I get to put on clothing again. I'm like, yes, this is great. I put on clothing. I'm laying in bed. I went to sleep. I got to go to, I got to have a nice night. The next morning they came in. They're like, oh, and by the way, you don't need to wear the heart monitor anymore. They took that thing off of me, and they took out. So this was yesterday morning. All right, yesterday afternoon. They let me out. So about 3 o'clock, at 2:30, we finally got the doctor to sign off on the discharge, and you're good to go. Go home. Just stay on stool softeners for a couple of days, basically till next Monday, so that nothing puts any undue stress on the sutures that are holding the clips that are holding my wound internal injury together. Cool. That's my experience at the hospital. Get home yesterday evening, get a call from the the GI that did my initial thing, and she calls me up and she's like, "So we had those nine polyps that came out of you." She's like, "Most of them were good, but two of them were not so good." And then today, pretty much was told like, "Yeah, you also have more polyps that need to come out, but we can't do them here. You're gonna have them done at the Hackensack facility, and you may well still have things going on. And because two of them were cancers, you're going to have to come back every year. And there is a possibility that they could have spread on, but we can't go in at all until you heal, which could be about 3 months. So, not the best news in the world, but not the worst news in the world either, because whatever it is, it's early. And I'm not experiencing anything like, sudden weight loss or, anything crazy like that. So good news there, but just got to watch it. I do have a good team of doctors looking out for me. Then this morning I immediately had an appointment with my cardiologist because I was an overweight guy for a very long time, so I'm on blood pressure medications. But that's really it, just because the size and but obviously with me having lost a lot of blood, they don't want me to stay on blood pressure medication for the moment. So I went over to consult with him and get that checked out, and he was like, "Yeah, for now, nothing. Monitor your blood pressure every morning, and if it starts to see you start to feel like your heart racing or anything, call us, and then we'll tell you what to do. How to kind of go back on it. Okay, we can then fine tune it. Cool." Second visit was to my endocrinologist for the type 2 diabetes, and she was like, "Yep, we're going to put you back on the weekly injection, but we're going to slowly bring you up so you don't get any constipation or anything like that." Not to go TMI, but I'm just telling you all what the facts are. And they're like, "Okay." And other than that, and then, so that's where I am. I'm back. I'm alive. It was my birthday. I'm just wanted to kind of get on to a little stream. I'm going to upload this to my VOD channel afterwards, and then I'll put this up on the Milk VODs VOD on YouTube as well. So people kind of get an understanding of like where I am, what's going on, and what's going on with me. Now, The important part about this is I do believe that it is very important once you get to be of the appropriate age. I know now they're recommending it younger and younger for men specifically, but everybody go in, get your colonoscopies done. Even though I had a bad experience, I also had 9 polyps. You most likely won't have that. So I do want to say, please go get checked. Please go get checked. Don't neglect yourself. Don't be like, well, I don't really feel like I have to do it. Make sure you go and get checked. You don't want to wind up in a situation where you may be predisposed to something. It could be something genetic, could be something that just the way you eat. For whatever reason, please go get yourselves checked. Nobody is ever going to be a bigger proponent for that than I am, right now. And believe me, I am going to be. There are going to be some changes. There are going to be some more streams, and we are going to be looking to grow my stream. Not because I want to grow and like make money off of things. I really want to be able to raise money for charity and awareness about this and the importance of getting screened for colon cancer and for just getting checked out for things in general. And that's kind of what I feel like I can do to make a difference in the world. I think I'm going to order dinner in about like 5 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, just communicating with my father, who, I take care of him now. It's just the two of us. Anyway, so that's about where I am. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of let you all know what was going on. A little short stream today. I will be back for a proper stream, I think, on Saturday. We'll do a proper birthday celebration and everything like that. I may pop on a little bit tomorrow, but it depends. So I'm just letting you all know what's going on. But I did get a lot of people reach out to me over the last couple of days, and I want to thank you sincerely, and just kind of give you all like the rundown of what was going on with me. Also, going forward from here on in, they're going to see some more face cam streams. Because I've never officially just been a 100% VTuber. And there will be some like Lego builds and some model builds and scratch builds too coming up in the future. So just look forward to it. At any rate, I want to thank you all for taking some time to listen to me this afternoon. Remind you, please, please, please make sure you get checked for make sure you get your colon checked. That means going for colonoscopies, and I promise, for the most part, you won't have to deal with the hell that I had to. 2026, let me put it this way. It's like basically every 2 weeks something has happened to me. So that's just me in the year. That's probably not going to happen to y'all. So please understand. Anyway, thank you for taking some time. I'm going to go right out to Ruby Vox since Ruby is actually um, streaming right now. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful evening, and I will see you for sure on Saturday. All right. Take care.